host, Dr. DeeMoney. It's so good to be on the show today. And you're welcome to the program INVESTICULTURE. You need to know that the biggest risk of all is not taking one at all. Today on the show, we will be continuing one of our episodes that we had that was very interesting, which was where we discussed about the legal aspect of investing. If you recall, that period we talked about what the law says about investing in Ponzi schemes. If you had invested in Ponzi schemes, what legal procedures are you supposed to take in getting back your investment? Today, we are going to continue with that conversation, with that discussion, and my guest is back on the show today. My guest is Barrister Opatola Victor. Hi, Victor. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. How's it been?
I've been doing very good.
Yeah. Right. So, for those of you just joining us, this is INVESTICULTURE, your one and only business orientation program. You can always ask any question with regards to business and investing. So today, like I said, we'll be talking about the legal aspect of business. Legal aspect of business, legal aspect of investing. If you have questions, you can keep your questions while I'm having a conversation with Barrister Victor. You can call in with your questions or send us messages on 0818 22 22 205. We'll be right back after the short break. Don't go away. Yeah, welcome back to the show. This is INVESTICULTURE on Top Radio CitizenFM 93.7 with Dr. DeeMoney. Today we'll be talking about the legal aspect of investing and, of course, the legal aspect of business. So, Barrister Victor.
Yes.
Right. So, if you recall the last time, one of the key points that I kept in the right part of my brain was the fact that no company has any right to publicly request for funds.
Yes.
And you said categorically that the Security Exchange Commission has to be the one to give any company the license to be able to request for public funds, except of course that company is a public limited liability company. Am I correct?
Yes, and it has to be a public limited liability company, and apart from that, it has to go through certain procedures and requirements, and get the nod of SEC before it can publicly request for funds.
Yes. Yeah, so I strongly recall that, and it's been in my mind today. But still, why do you think people are still investing in Ponzi schemes?
It's most often than not about money and the need to double your money and get more money. Basically, everybody needs money, so it's just the emotion to get money, easy money. Yeah, that's
okay.
That's
so people want easy money, and that's why they go into Ponzi schemes.
Yes.
But with the breakfast that they've been serving everybody, don't you think Nigerians should have learned the lessons by now?
I think from what I've known generally, what I've seen generally, some people know it's a Ponzi, but they believe they can game the Ponzi system. Probably if they invest in it early enough before they crash, you can just get your money before it crashes, and most often than not, people get hooked.
But have you also considered the fact that, of course, they said that ignorance is not an excuse in the law.
Definitely.
But there are certain people that are ignorant about legality in scrutinizing things.
Yes.
Last time you talked about doing due diligence.
Yes.
When we talked about how do you identify a Ponzi scheme, you say you need to do due diligence, make research. If possible, you get the services of a lawyer and all that.
Yes.
But some people are saying these procedures are so expensive. I'm just investing 10,000 naira. Why will I go and start looking for a lawyer? How much will a lawyer charge me? So, I mean, what are the things that, as a layman, as a young man, maybe I'm just coming out of school, I have some spare 20,000, 50,000, and someone is telling me that this business has been on for some time. If you put this money, it gives you this money. How do I know if it's a Ponzi or not?
Basically, if you don't think you have the resources to do due diligence, the legal due diligence.
Yeah.
I believe once anything is offering you 50%, 60% return on investment, some even go as high as 75, 80%. Even hedge funds, big hedge funds who has the knowledge, the wherewithal and everything, they don't promise such. Once the offer is too good to be true, that's just
then it's too good to be true.
Yes.
But of course, also you need to also consider the fact that big, like you mentioned, big hedge fund companies and all these capital companies are usually regulated by the Security Exchange Commission.
Okay.
They determine how much return on investment they give to their clients, to their customers. So we might not be able to say that, but there are some companies that will say, we are into agric, and you can see by the time you start to invest, you plant small rice, it becomes like 20 bags of rice. So you can see that the money can multiply times 20, and so what do you think about that? Because I know that certain capital companies that, of course, even if the investment would be able to give them more than that, they will tell you SEC says we shouldn't give more than 3% or give more than 5% return on investment. So what do you think about that?
Basically, in regards to Ponzi's generally, a good way to know if you don't have, but I think if you can invest using your phone, you should be able to do some normal research online using your phone. And the true thing about these companies, these Ponzi companies, is that there is always a trail. There's a trail. Once you're living a lie, there will always be a trail.
You just need to dig deeper.
You can just small digging. If your emotion wouldn't cloud, if you won't be blind to,
because by the time they start telling you what you get, you start punching calculator. My brother, you're not thinking straight again.
So once you can just leave your emotion to get money or more money beside, and objectively do some basic research using your phone, it will come out very, very obvious.
Okay, so I don't know if you have any other thing that is like a very key points that you need to let us know when it comes to investing and looking at the legality before I because I want to deviate a little from that. So, but I don't know if you have any point of note.
Just be on the watch out. If there's any private company telling you it wants to raise funds publicly, even for recently, the CBN and SEC, they're about to give regulations for bitcoins or cryptocurrencies that wants to raise fund from the public. So it is as it is now. It is not legal for bitcoins. I'm just saying this now because this is a new form now, apart from Ponzi that
of course, this is a new dimension.
This is a new dimension
because it won't be too safe to categorize cryptocurrency investments under Ponzi schemes.
There can be instances where Ponzi is about money, currency, means of exchange, they're about, and Bitcoin too, as it is, although not a legal tender currency in Nigeria, it's
also money. So someone can use cryptocurrency as a
Ponzi.
I get it.
So I'm just saying, there's a regulation, a recent one, where any Bitcoin or cryptocurrency that wants to raise fund from the public, there's a procedure
that
particularly
there.
So let us be watchful of that too. And Ponzi's generally they metamorphosize. There'll be a new form, there'll be a new system. It's just the same thing. So once anything is promising you anything too good to be true, please just be on the watch out.
One last one. We are in election seasons.
Yes.
You see different political parties or candidates coming to say we want to raise funds for campaigns, for elections. Normally, according to the law, what is the procedure? Basically, because we see some of them, they raise these funds from the public. They don't give an account of what they do with it. The election is over, and they are, nobody asks questions. Some of them raise these monies in millions, in billions from the public. When they are running for offices, whether they win or they do not win, nobody has questions.
Yes.
What does the law say about politicians, requesting for public funds to run campaigns and all that?
Okay. Basically, what I know and I'm certain of is that businesses, companies, or individuals should not, raise money from the public directly without going through
Security Exchange Commission.
Security and Exchange Commission. There's a guideline, there's a procedure. Okay. Crowdfunding in Nigeria has a SEC guideline, a SEC procedure. So if you're crowdfunding in this country, there's a procedure in which you must go through.
All right, great. So that's quite insightful. So now I want to ask you. We're talking about the legal aspect of business generally.
Yes.
It's a very broad topic.
And beautiful one.
Yeah. So we can ask as many questions as possible. One of the questions that I wanted to ask is. Considering a limited liability company, when you want to register a limited liability company, unlike the sole proprietorship where you be the sole, registrant, or how do you call it now? But when you want to register a limited liability company, you need to be more than one person. You need to have board of directors to register a limited liability company, and then each person needs to have certain percentage or units of shares in the company. Am I correct?
Recently it has changed.
Oh, okay.
The change is that you can have a single shareholder.
Oh, in a limited liability company. Wow, it's
a single shareholder in a limited liability company, and you can also have a single director in a limited.
Wow. Okay. Great. Because I was going to say that has caused so much problems. I have an idea. I want to start, but I want it to be a limited liability company. Then I bring people that do not even know about this idea just for the sake of registering a company, and then it becomes a problem. You give someone maybe 3% shares or 5% shares just so that their names will be there, and you can register the company. And in the future, the company becomes profitable, and then someone begins to raise and saying part of the company and part of the owners of the company, but you didn't bring anything. No, I'm part of the owners of the company. So in such situations, how do you even handle such?
There are guidelines. Now, for instance, there are ways in which, you see, most of these things, when you get a lawyer involved, for instance, now, if you put someone as a director, there's a procedure in which you remove a director.
What are these procedures?
This procedure, there's this requisition. There's a process of requisition. It's quite a long and bulky procedure. There's a requisition. There's a process in which you remove a director. Requisition, it starts
with or without your consent?
No. You see, it's, for instance, now the removal of a director is most often than it's more in the AGM. That's the annual general meeting. That's why it becomes substantive.
Okay.
You understand? So it starts with a requisition. A requisition is more of a notice, to the company, telling you need a director, you want to remove so and so director, and all these things. So in order to get these things done, it boils down to the vote. It also boils down to your own numbers of shares in the company thereabout. So this procedure are quite bulky. It's a whole job on its own to get this done.
Okay, so you were saying, so now if maybe we're just two in that company. Maybe I have 90% shares and this other person has 10% shares, and this person maybe contributed little or nothing into the creation of the company, and then maybe the company has started, generating revenue, generating good profit, and then this person is saying, I'm part of it, we must share this money together, we must share the profits together, or something like that, and then you want this person out. So in this situation, because we are talking about referendum and the rest of it,
requisition,
requisition. You also mentioned referendum, that there has to be like an annual general meeting.
Yes, directors are removed in the annual general meeting.
Okay. Okay. So in this case, what you are just two directors.
Yes.
So how do you undo such?
Basically, what is done is that there's a formal requisition. A formal requisition is putting the director on notice, and the company itself on notice that you want to remove the director. And this process go through. You give him a particular period of time, to put himself in order. And at the annual general meeting, as the case may be, you put it to a vote. If it, because you have the numbers,
majority shares.
The majority shares, it can actually be much more easier for you. And most often than not, there's a classification of small companies, companies that are not small in regards to the amount in which is their how do I put it now? Should we say profit? Would that be the right word?
Okay, because I remember that when it's been long I registered the company. I remember that when you register the company, we ask you, is it 1 million?
No, it's not that.
It's not that.
The classification of small company, or companies that are not small, is in regards to how much is their turnover.
So that has to do with their financials now.
Their financials. So that's the threshold that determine a small company, and so all these things are a little bit intertwined. It depends on. It depends on which company can have one director or more than one director thereabout. So it's a bit intertwined.
All right, thank you so much. For those of you just joining us, this is Citizen FM 93.7, and this is the show INVESTICULTURE with Dr. DeeMoney, and we've been talking about the legal aspect of business. For those of you just joining us, if you have questions, my guest is Barrister Opatola Victor, and we've been talking about the legal aspect of business, the legal aspect of investing. So if you have questions in this regard, you can send us your questions. You can call in to throw your questions to my guest. The line to call is 0818 22 22 205, 0818 22 22 205. We'll be right back after the short break. Right, welcome back to INVESTICULTURE on Top Radio Citizen FM 93.7. This is Dr. DeeMoney, and we have been talking about legal aspect of business, and we have been, chatting about what the law says with regards to publicly raising funds, what the law says about investing in cryptocurrencies, even cryptocurrencies in Ponzi schemes. We have been talking a lot about that, and then we have been throwing it open as well. The conversation is open. If you have questions with regards to law, you have a lawyer in the house, you can ask questions. If your business is currently facing some legal challenges, you can seek free legal counsel on this show today. Seek advice, and then we'll all learn together on the show. So Barrister Victor,
yes.
We've had situations where we're not talking about Ponzi schemes now, we're talking about investments gone wrong. Investments gone bad. We have had situations where people invest in businesses, in companies, and of course, initially things were going well, and then maybe policies of the government, the weather, Of course, environmental or external factors affect these businesses.
Yes.
And these businesses go down. Profits are not coming in. The investors are angry. They are asking for their money. And then some of them are threatening to sue. What, in this case, how do you manage such an issue, especially legally?
Please, I'll just ask again, please.
All right, so my question is, there are certain businesses, there are certain companies, these are not Ponzi schemes now, companies that we know their track records, we see what they are doing, they are clean, and then they were seeking for investments from investors. They got investment from investors. The business was doing better. Along the line, factors like the COVID-19 of the 2020, government policies, external factors, generally environmental factors affect business. And then investors are not happy. They're asking for their money. Some of them are threatening with legal suits and all that. So in situations like this, as an investor,
Yes.
legally, what am I supposed to do? As a business owner, what am I supposed to do to?
Okay. In this situation, I've had reasons to advise some of my clients in regards to the situation. Now, whenever such instances come up, one thing I always realize is that so far there's no issue of fraud in it. That means the interest of the of the company and that of the investor can be aligned in such a way that you realize that both of them are just interested in money, in their money. The investor is interested in the money as invested. The owner of the company is also interested in the company, which is also gets money. There are various ways in which you can solve this issue. If there is no other option, and the investor just wants to get his money, and the company is not doing well, the company can do a line of bankruptcy. They can file for bankruptcy, and once you file for bankruptcy, the assets of the company can be sold in such a way that those that are owing it's a little bit tricky. Now, those that are, once you file for bankruptcy, then there will be a process. The assets of the company, everything will be sold or liquidated, as the case may be. Then there will now be an order of priority of people to be settled, to be paid off. Now, those that borrowed money to the company, and they secured it by charge. When I say charge, there are different kind of charges. There's a floating charge and fixed charge. For instance, now if Mr. A has a company, the name of the company is A Limited, and I borrowed the company, say 100 million naira, and I secured it by a charge, fixed charge. A fixed charge is saying that this property of this company, this money, in case you're not able to pay me back this money, this your particular property will stand in place of my money. Maybe by selling it or by giving it to me. That's a fixed charge. A floating charge, in the long run becomes a fixed charge. So that's not even the issue. What I'm trying to say is, once you file for bankruptcy, people are paid in order of priorities. So as an investor, it depends on your clause of investment. The documents, you signed with the company.
Because that's eventually what will be too in the course of legal.
Yes, all this thing. If what you're saying, for instance, if the document says that you get your money with priority above other people, you get your money. Above other people. So we have bankruptcy, we have mergers. You can merge with another company. You can merge with another company. We have sales on arrangement. Where there's a lot of procedures in which one is either you want to save the money or you want to get your money back. The company, you want to save the company so that it will get running again, or you want to get your money back. So there are quite a number of legal means to achieve that.
Okay, great. So I want us to talk about trademark, but before we talk about trademark, I know we have labor laws in Nigeria.
Definitely.
So for example, I am starting a company. I want to start a business, a company that is going to require that I want to employ people. So where this labor law, because I know many Nigerians say yes, we have labor laws, but Nigerians are not, especially many of these Nigerian companies are not following the labor law, and people are not speaking up enough. That's why you see that some companies, it's even difficult for you to take annual leave. There are so many companies in Nigeria that they maltreat their employees because yes, there are labor laws, but why is it that many Nigerians do not even have access to this labor law? Let's start from there.
No. The labor laws are there. If you check your phone now, just put Nigerian labor law, it will come up. The act is there. You can just download it.
Really?
It's there. It's access. So far you have a phone, you can read on your phone. So far you have the money. If you go to the secretariat now, you see you can always get it. Just probably it's not expensive. You can download it freely on your phone. So it's always there. And as for labor laws in these countries, there are good laws. When it comes to protecting workers in this country.
Yeah.
So there is a labor law. It is always there. You can always get.
But how many of because certainly it's maybe clear that many of these companies do not even have an idea of these labor laws, and that's why you see many of them maltreat their employees and their workers.
So it's not even about the company not knowing; it's about the workers. Is either not knowing or not having or not wanting or having the resources to enforce, these labor laws, or not knowing where to go or how to go about it. So the company can decide not to know or know.
No, just
but it's for the workers to know.
Because you are the one that the labor law was made for.
Yes.
Yeah, because if you look at part of the people that listen to this show, many of them are people who are either unemployed, some underemployed, some are even employed, and they are looking for other means to start a business or something so that they can have other streams of income. Those ones who are employed, some of them complain, I'm not enjoying my job, my boss is wicked, I don't go on leave, I don't even have access to health insurance, I don't this, I don't that, my boss you just threaten to sack me anytime and all. So I feel that especially as young citizens, as people who are interested, because this program is not just for business. If we discuss business, we discuss investment, we discuss investing. So meaning that we are encouraging Nigerians, citizens, to go into business so that it will help strengthen the naira and boost the economy of Nigeria. Also, it's not everybody that will do business or will succeed in business. You just talked about when your company is failing, and one of the things they can do apart from filing for what do you call it now, for bankruptcy, they can also merge with other companies that are doing well.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's not everybody that can do business or succeed in business. However, those who cannot do business can invest in existing businesses to make those businesses better. Correct.
Yes.
So now, for those that will go into business, I think it's very important to know that how you treat your workers, your employees, will also determine how far your business will go. Because it's very typical. Part of the countries I have been to, I've had conversations with people, and they say Nigerian business owners here, they show us pepper. They do this, they are tough, they are wicked, they are this, they are just like people from certain countries, So I think there's a need for maybe people like you to give us like an enlightenment about what some of this, what are the highlights of this labor law?
Okay. Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just make it easy so I won't speak.
Yeah.
Plenty
just pick some very
the first thing is once you employ somebody.
Yes.
You should give him a letter of employment. The letter of employment will be stipulating the do's and don'ts.
Right.
It will tell you this is when you should resume, this is when you shouldn't resume, this is these are the policies of the company. Just give you a basic rundown of if you do this, you'll be suspended. If you do this, you'll be sacked. And if you are to be sacked, if you want to leave this company, you must give us 1 month notice or 2 month notice.
Right.
If you don't give us 2 month notice,
This is the implication.
This is the implication.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if we will, sack you or terminate your employment without any notice or warning, this and this are what you'll be getting.
Yes.
Okay. If you have any reason to terminate your employment at all, these are what you'll be getting.
Yeah.
If you give you notice before you terminate your employment, these are what you. So basically, it just tell both parties what to expect, when and how. You understand? So and apart from that, that is very, very important. A lot of companies, a lot of businesses or organizations do not give their workers, they do not give them letter of employment. They want to be wise in the sense that they don't want anything to be binding between both of them. And most often than not,
sorry, even the ones that give letters,
yes.
You will see some kind of, I've seen some people's employment letter of employment where they state their job description and they put that any other thing and any other, there's a way they put it, like, so by the time you want to start complaining, say, you go and check your letter, we say any other thing. So you can be an accountant and we ask you to go and wash car. After all, we are paying your salary. If you don't do it, you are fired.
That's wicked. That's very wicked.
But we have many of them, many companies, organizations in Nigeria doing that.
I agree. That's wicked. And we must also understand that there's this National Industrial Court. I have to talk about National Industrial Court.
Yes. Because that's where the labor is, where you take such cases to.
National Industrial Court is a court, between, it's an employer-employee
yes.
issues. Yeah. That's where the issue. That's where you see. When it comes to delaying, sometimes courts are synonymous with delaying cases and all these kind of things. This National Industrial Court, I commend them. I practice there. I've represented my clients, a number of my clients there. They are fast and they are efficient. There's nothing like delay. So if you don't want to sue, when your right is breached or thereabout, thinking it will take a year, it will take no. I can assure you, I've done cases at National Industrial Court. They have for me, as far as I'm concerned, they have one of the most beautiful court rules in this country. Fast, efficient, there's no wastage of time. Before you know it, you're done. I conducted a case there not too long ago, 3 months. 3 months, and that 3 months was because the other party was doing some delay and thereabout. That's what. So if you are thinking of it takes a while or it takes long, no. That's don't let that discourage you. Once your right is infringed upon, if your employment letter or your policy book, your place of works policy book, those are your Bible. You understand?
You need to study.
You must study it. You must study before you sign your employment letter and return it thereabout or whatever. Read it, study it, know the terms. Don't put yourself into servitude. You understand? If you don't understand certain terms, get a friend, a lawyer thereabout to go through it for you, to explain it for you, interpret it for you. If they give you a policy document from your workplace or employment policy document that guides the workers and thereabout, go through it.
Because the devil is in the detail.
It's in the detail. Go through it. Know your right. You see, once you go through it, I had a client. This client, there are different kind of clients. There's this client that, they are just almost like a lawyer. This client had everything in the civil. He's a civil servant. He had everything. He has the civil service rules, as in he had everything pertaining to his work. Is in his head. So make sure you have it in your head. That will help you to not violate anything. That can go against you.
Affect your work.
And once your employer is going against the same rules, you understand, in maybe the same provision of your contract of employment or the employee rules thereabout, then you can enforce it. You can enforce it.
Speak up.
And speak up. You understand? One of the things that the court will always frown on is if the employer himself is going against its own rules or terms of contract thereabout. And if the employee is going against, so it's like your Bible. Always hold it. Always. It's very, very important. And another very important thing is they cannot change it or amend it without giving you a copy, without letting you know.
Yes, of course.
You understand? So
You say, you came in 2020. By 2021 we have already amended it. You are not aware.
You must know. You know, they must,
because that's like shifting goalposts.
Yes,
and then
good. So they must, all the workers must know that, you know, so has been amended thereabout, or change, or certain things have been changed in it. So this is very, very important for both the employer and the employee thereabout.
This has been quite insightful. We have been talking about the legal aspect of business, and my guest, Barrister Patola, Victor, has been doing justice to this. We'll be right back after the short break. Don't go away. All right, welcome back to InvestiCulture on Top Radio, CitizenFM 93.7, with Dr. DeeMoney, and this is InvestiCulture. We've been talking about the legal aspect of business, what you should know, especially in terms of investing, in terms of business, what the law says. And my guest has been educating us. Thank you so much, Barrister Victor. All right, so let's talk about trademark.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes people find it difficult to dichotomize the difference between copyright and trademark. Also, people feel that these things are too expensive. So because of that, they just feel that when you register a business with a corporate affairs commission, that's okay, and then you can run your business. But in the future, someone begins to tell you that your name is the name of your company is Victor and Co. PLC, and the name of his own company is Victor and Com PLC, and then you begin to say, no, I came before you now. I was bearing the name before you. So let's talk about trademarks, and of course maybe talk about trademark and copyright, why it is important, especially in business, because we have seen how it has affected so many businesses, how it has killed many businesses, many visions, many ideas. People are even afraid to put out their ideas because of this same, you know, infringements and all these things. So let's talk about trademark and maybe copyright.
Okay. One thing
and patenting too. Yeah, thanks.
All these things are intellectual property.
Yeah,
they are intellectual property, and the truth is, intellectual property is money. You know, right now is money. Let me tell you why it is money. If your company is not doing so well, and you're thinking of probably letting go of your company,
winding up,
or selling your company, or whatever,
right,
your trademark is something you can sell. You know, your trademark, if you have a very strong popular trademark, for instance, now it's something you can sell to another company, and the company will start using that trademark to produce probably that same good that you're known for, or you know, something else. So when it comes to trademark, copyright and patent in Nigeria, trademark is different from copyright thereabout. So let me talk about patent. Patent generally it's a right to what, for instance, now how do I break it down? Patent is there are two kind of patents actually. You know, patent when it comes to machines, when it comes to inventions thereabout, you know, physical inventions, you know, those for instance, if you invented
like the young man who invented electric buses in the northeast.
Beautiful. You know, that's an example of something you can patent thereabout. But you know, the second one are other things that are not physical things. You know, you can patent those kind of things too. So in regards to copyright, copyright thereabout, copyright, for instance, now can be if you publish a book. You know, you can have a copyright to that particular book. You know, there's a way you go about it. You have a copyright to that particular, which is the second one. The third one you mentioned,
I talked about trademark.
Trademark thereabout. Yes, trademark is very important too. So
so copyright is just mainly for books.
Copyright is mainly for books,
or maybe artworks, or how about music?
Artworks, music, books. Which other one? You know, all those the intangible things thereabout.
Okay.
You can use copyright for them. You can use copyright.
So what does that copyright mean? It means, okay, this is my intellectual property. This is
no. You see, once you have copyright for these things, they belong to you.
Yeah.
There's a certain number of years through which you can enjoy this copyright. There's a certain number of years through which you can enjoy this. There's certain, for instance, now there's some musics that have been available for a long. I can't give example of such. There's some music that have been long. They've been available for a long period of time. Copyright has lapsed on them. It lapsed on them.
Right.
So you can actually
any other person can pick them up and even copyright them if
use
you
them
like.
in your jingles. You can't copyright them, but you can use them.
Okay, you
in your
can't
jingles.
Copyright them again.
Yeah, but you can use them in your jingles without being afraid of
any lawsuit or litigation. Okay, great. So do you have an idea of how many years these things take to elapse?
I can't remember immediately.
Okay. Is it up to 50 years or 90 years or 100 years?
Okay, don't worry. I'll remember in the course of hours.
Okay. So let's talk about trademark.
Okay. So let me just finish about patent there.
Okay.
So when it comes to patent and patent application, we have two kind of patent application. We have the conventional and the non-conventional. The conventional patent is a patent that is undergoing its registration for the first time. And these are sometimes known as local patent in Nigeria. Then the conventional patent, it's a patent application that's been registered in another country. So you've registered it in the United States, and you're coming to Nigeria to register it. Those are conventional patents. So
so there are procedures to each of these.
Procedures to some of these things.
Okay. So talking about trademark. What's the difference between trademark and copyright?
It's actually what it is that you're registering. You understand? Copyrights and trademarks are how do I put it? They are more of
let me give you an instance.
Okay.
So I'm a fashion designer.
Okay.
I started a fashion company, and I've registered it with the Corporate Affairs Commission.
Okay.
But someone is saying, look, even though you have registered it, since you are a fashion designer, you produce clothes and people love your clothes, you should come up with your fashion label.
Okay.
And then I came up with a fashion label, my fashion line. The name of my fashion label is Kem. And then someone is saying you better trademark that fashion line. So,
okay, now this is trademark. Trademark is more about logos.
Okay.
It's more about words.
Yeah.
Okay, those logos and words. Those are trademark. For instance, now this Kem you just mentioned, probably the Kem, the logo is KM. You can trademark that KM. Okay. So that KM, wherever it is, it's synonymous with Kem.
It's Kem.
You have trademarked it. Nobody else can use
that.
So there are divisions to trademark. There are quite a number of divisions. You can have entertainment, you have real estate, you have food, you have all these things. There are divisions. So once you want to, for instance, this Kem, if Kem is involved with entertainment, she will go and register under entertainment. That's a category of registration in trademark. So this KM, which is the trademark, will be registered under entertainment. Do you understand? So another way in which you can register trademark is if Kem, for instance, now is synonymous with the word it's synonymous with the word like
violence.
No, don't let's use violence. Patriotism is cool. You understand?
So even though
patriotism is cool.
She's forming patriotic Nigeria.
So you can trademark that kind of word too.
Right.
One of the things is
like a tagline.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's a better word to use.
Yeah.
You can trademark such word, and you can trademark it probably under any of the categories too.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
But there's a catch to it. If you trademark something under entertainment, for instance, you cannot stop me from trademarking such word under real estate, for instance. Now, so what people do, what businesses do most often than not, is they do a defensive registration. A defensive registration is done in such a way that you register across all boards, all the categories. So once I register all the this kind of defensive registration now, you can't register it under any of the categories again. So these categories, they are quite the number of them actually. So once I do this defensive registration of my trademark, no other person can register it.
That must cost a lot.
Yeah, it does.
Because I remember the instance of this popular comedian Oga Sabinus, who just recently won the MVCA.
Yes.
I don't know if you're aware of that story.
Yes,
Can you tell us what happened?
Okay. What happened was that Sabinus has a tagline, that everybody's synonymous with.
Yes.
And this tagline was used in one of the adverts.
By two major. One of them.
So one used the tagline, then one used is demeanor. Is demeanor. So now the issue that arose was, that particular tagline, he registered it as a trademark. I think under real estate, he registered as a trademark under real estate. Now the argument in regards to that tagline, the advertisement was made in regards to food and beverages.
Yes.
So the argument was that you cannot use that they are not liable. Because they use it under entertainment, while Sabinus registered it under real estate. But it is wrong. Because we are not talking about registration here. The issue of different different categories of trademark registration will come when you want to register. For instance,
only when you want to register.
It doesn't come into play when it comes to the fact that you're infringing. You can't be infringing on a trademark and you're saying I don't have a right to sue because the infringement did not happen under real estate, because I registered it under real estate. Terrible. So the second one was the demeanor of Sabinus. So another thing I would like to talk at this juncture is, even if you do not register your trademark, you can still sue under common law. There's a common law right of passing off. Common law right of passing off. So if you sue, if you register under trademark, then you can sue for trademark infringement.
Yes.
If you not register your trademark and it's popular enough and synonymous with you, that means if a reasonable person on the street of Lagos or Abuja sees this, is able to know
it's me,
that it is you, then you can sue for passing off. Passing off is a common law provision for trademark infringement. So you can sue. So now the issue is that the demeanor of Sabinus. Is it synonymous with Sabinus?
Of course,
it's
everybody
synonymous
knows.
with him.
When you put your hand up and say his family,
as in it's synonymous with him. So even if it's not trademarked, even if it can still proceed to court based on that, because everybody knows
so
that
it's
synonymous with him. So you can still proceed to court. So that's that. So is it that you sue under trademark if you're registered trademark infringement?
If you're registered, just use the common law.
But if you're not registered, you can sue under the common law provision of.
But there's no guarantee for that. If the other party has a good lawyer, they can throw your case.
No, it's not even about. It's more about what you do with you. I tell people, law is more about what you do with the fact and the evidence. What you can't change the evidence actually, but you can make the fact in such a way that in such a way that it helps your client. So it's more about what you do with the facts that you have and the evidence that you have. So
right. So do you have an idea how much it costs to trademark?
To trademark, in
Nigeria.
It depends on who is registering for you actually. It depends on who is registering for you.
And these are not things you can do yourself, right?
No.
Which organization of the government is responsible for trademarks and copyright? Because I'm not sure it's Corporate Affairs Commission.
No, it's not Corporate Affairs Commission.
Okay.
I've forgotten, but there's a particular organization responsible for that.
Okay.
And these are stuff that you can do for yourself. If you can go through the rigors, you can do it for yourself, basically.
But it's easier when you employ the services of
because it's in stages.
It's 10 o'clock.
It's in stages actually. So there's a different stage of registration, there's a different stage of publication, so all these kind of things.
Right. So it's been an insightful program, and I personally have. In fact, as you were speaking, I was just trying to write down so many things that I was getting from this conversation, and because one of the things we talk about is the fact that people assume a lot. You want to do something, you don't go into details, into the nitty-gritty of what you want to go into, and then you're caught in the act.
And let me just chip in. If you don't register these things,
yes,
and somebody beats you to them, then it will be difficult for you to lay claim.
You just lose totally.
It will be difficult for you.
And such things are painful. I take so much hours, it cost me a lot to put something in place, and somebody who didn't do anything because he's smarter than me, because he knows the law, he just beats me to it and then makes the profit.
There are plenty of cases in court currently like that, and we're talking about big companies. I just want to mention companies now. I'll tell you later. There are plenty of big companies like that that they are battling these kind of things in court, and the money to take you to go to court to do these things, it's like 100-fold compared to probably what it would take you to
just do the right thing in the first place. Yeah.
So it's always wise whenever you want to start a business, just sit, know what it entails. Apart from just know the legal aspect. What you should do. We advise people, apart from registration with Corporate Affairs Commission, what next is securing your intellectual property.
Yeah,
that's all.
Yeah, right. Thank you so much, Barrister Victor. There's been so much talking points this morning on legal aspect of business that we've learned a lot. Nigerians, citizens, we need to understand that knowing the law is very key, even in business, because by the time you start business and then you are claiming that you don't know the law. I remember while I was in Kaduna, I just got a car and I taught myself how to drive, and I was driving well. But as at that time, there's this is a Castella, they call them. So they would ask me for my driver's license. I had to process it. I was waiting, and they would ask me. They will impound my car. I will pay. So after some time, I say, okay, I'll put learner. I say, where is your learner's permit? I show them learner's permit. They then say, okay, but you are supposed to have someone, and that's what the law says. Someone must be beside you as your instructor. So they still impounded my car again. So there's a need for us to not just assume, not just know, but we need to also learn what does the law says before you go into anything, so that it doesn't cost you much more than you should have. So I really appreciate you. We appreciate you so much for coming on the show, for, of course, making yourself available for us to learn from you with regards to legality in business. Thank you so much, and we're hoping to one of these days see you again. This is INVESTICULTURE on Top Radio CitizenFM at 3.7 with Dr. DeeMoney, and we've discussed a lot today. If you